Marvel and DC both have a lot of great supervillains, but they also have a lot of dark and depraved supervillains that, in my honest opinion, should never ever be glorified and highlighted as acclaimed supervillains, because these people are depraved, they are sick. And now this video is not a DC video. I will talk about that probably in a different video, because I want to solely single out Marvel. Marvel have 3 depraved niggas that I want to talk about. But a fun fact about these 3 niggas is that one of these people actually is low-key innocent, but I will explain that later in the video. But Marvel has a lot of great and magnificent supervillains. They got Doctor Doom, Venom, Green Goblin, Magneto, Apocalypse, Thanos. The list is going to be endless, because Marvel knows how to shit out a great villain every once in a while. But Marvel also has a lot of supervillains that you really need to stay away from and you need to stay clear from. You should not idolize these people. You should not think of them as role models. You should not even try to watch any video edits of these villains, even though 2 of these villains were showcased in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Please, please, please do not idolize their appearances in that show, even though their characteristics were changed to a certain extent during that show's duration. These characters that I'm going to talk about are depraved individuals that should not see the light of day. These niggas are the equivalent of Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein inside of the Marvel universe. That's how bad these individuals are. Look, Thanos is a horrible tyrant. He is a horrible genocidal maniac for destroying half of the entire Marvel universe. He wanted to do every single bad deed for Lady Death. He was infatuated with the literal embodiment of death inside the Marvel universe. Thanos is a completely weird person for doing that. He should not be redeemed. But honestly, I would take that type of villainy before I would ever embrace the villainy I am about to discuss, because these niggas are worse than Thanos. They might be even worse than Carnage, and Carnage committed a lot of horrific acts during his initial run in the early 90s, and even bleeding into the 2000s, bleeding into the 2010s. Carnage is a depraved individual, and he is arguably on the same level as these niggas, but I don't think he is on the same level as these people. But I did not choose Carnage as a candidate for this video. I chose 3 people: Purple Man, Mandrill, and Star Fox. Now I want to talk about Mandrill first. Mandrill is a D-list Marvel villain. He is a mutant. A fun fact about Mandrill is that he is actually a black man who was turned into a monkey-like villain. Now, do with that information as you will. I am not here to explain how that happened. That is just a fun fact about Mandrill. But Mandrill has a lot of superpowers, and I'm shocked to realize that if this nigga wasn't a loser and a depraved, pathetic individual, Mandrill could be a formidable opponent to a lot of the superheroes inside of New York in the 616 Marvel universe, because he has superhuman strength, superhuman speed, superhuman stamina, superhuman durability, superhuman agility, and superhuman reflexes. Now, he could be very formidable to a lot of street tier supervillains, or supervillains that have powers but they actually involve themselves inside of the street tier superhero activity. But Mandrill has a superpower that eclipses everything that I just listed right now. If you take away the superpower that I'm going to talk about, Mandrill is not going to be that formidable. He is not going supervillain to be that intimidating, but this nigga has mind control via pheromones. Now, Mandrill can control you. He can telepathically trap your mind. He can telepathically stop you from doing what you want to do, and you will only obey Mandrill's will. Now, we all know a supervillain like this should not have this type of superpower. Nobody should have this type of superpower, even if you are a hero, because I will tell you an example later in the video as to why heroes should not be having a similar type of power like this, because Mandrill uses this superpower for the most depraved thoughts you could ever think of. Wow, shocker. Yeah, me too. I am not shocked. But Mandrill takes it a step further, because this nigga is Diddy. He is not Epstein. There is another person in the Marvel universe that is like Epstein, but Mandrill is Diddy, because, you know, I am black, so I can say this. You know, Diddy is African American, and Mandrill is a black man too. He's African American, so I'm going to lump both of them together. I will basically call Mandrill the Diddy of Marvel, because this nigga is a weirdo. Now, I want to tell you two situations that expose Mandrill's weird antics. One situation can be found inside the Spider-Man Breakout Volume series, and this story is showcasing a lot of supervillains from two supervillain teams, and these teams consist of the UFOs and Crossfire's mind control gang. But these supervillains recently escaped the prison known as the Raft. Now, I will not delve into the real context of the story. I just want to talk about Mandrill's appearance in this story. So as we're looking into the issue, right, we are seeing that Captain America and Iron Man are trying to stop all of the shenanigans and pandemonium, and Spider-Man, he's being held hostage by a group of supervillains. But Mandrill, he is actually found inside this issue. He is found at the Haven House in Brooklyn, New York, and he is literally doing one of the weirdest activities I have ever seen. So as a supervillain, when you escape prison, you know, you are trying to gain a lot of your old equipment back, your old powers back. Hell, you want to even enact a weird revenge plot on your arch nemesis. Most supervillains would go down these routes and avenues. Hell, even some supervillains would actually go down another route by just laying low. They are not doing anything. They are just trying to bide their time as the authorities and other superheroes are wasting their own time trying to search for them. Next thing you know, months will go by, or hell, even years will go by, and then next thing you know, the supervillain will pop up his or her rare ugly head. But no, Mandrill doesn't do that. This nigga does the weirdest thing you could ever do, but unfortunately, you cannot be surprised by Mandrill doing this type of weird antic. And this nigga, he is trying to have a Diddy freak off, literally in a laundromat. Like, nigga, you are weird for doing that shit, bro. Why are you forcing these women to have sex with you? Like, look, your face is chopped, my nigga. You are a literal walking ape. There is no reason why these women will get with you, other than the fact that you are using your mind control powers to amplify their pheromones so that they could sleep with you. And that, my good friends, is rape. That is serial rape. Mandrill is a weirdo, so he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar, and he is not apprehended by a villainous group called the UFOs, and one of their members called Vapor literally stumbled upon this weird ass scenario. Mandrill was laying down with these women, and he told one of the women, sometimes I just want to be held, and she now responds by saying, oh, that is so sweet. Another woman chimes in and says, your friends just don't get you, Mandrill. And Mandrill's dumbass, weird ass, pathetic ass now responded by saying, men never do. But next thing you know, Vapor, she intrudes herself inside of this scenario. She says this: because your mutant pheromones only work on women, well, flesh and blood women anyhow. And as soon as Mandrill sees this, he instantly is trying to run away because he knows that he's cooked. He knows that the UFOs are there to just harm him, to destroy him, to do whatever they want with him. And Mandrill, he runs out of the laundromat and he is literally screaming into his walkie-talkie, Mandrill, to Crossfire, the UFOs are here. Crossfire, answer me. But next thing you know, boom, he now gets blindsided by another member of the UFOs, and his name is X-Ray. So X-Ray, you know, he instantly stops Mandrill. Mandrill falls to the ground and he is now looking up at two more members of the UFOs, and they apprehend Mandrill. That's the last we see of him inside of this comic, because the UFOs will go on to do their mission and to basically try to save Spider-Man from actually shooting himself and committing suicide during this entire breakout. But that is the only thing Mandrill does inside of this entire story. But I had to highlight it because Mandrill was trying to do a Diddy freak off during an entire skirmish. This nigga really did not care about anything else. He didn't care about getting any money. He didn't care about getting a job. He didn't care about lying low. He didn't care about even starting a family. This nigga was trying to start a family in the worst way possible by forcing women to have sex with him by using his mind control powers. And his mind control powers is basically amplifying a lot of woman pheromones. And this is a weird ass nigga, man. This nigga should never be highlighted or literally embraced by anybody, man. But wait, there's another example that showcases how Mandrill is the real Diddy of the 616 Marvel universe. Now, I won't get into the nitty gritty bits of this story, but X-Men to Serve and Protect is a limited series that is showcasing two vigilante mutants known as Anole and Rockslide, and they don masks to become new street level heroes in San Francisco, and they actually tackle villains like Mr. Negative and the Serpent Society, blah blah blah. I'm not here to talk about that. I want to talk about Mandrill's appearance inside of this series. Now, he appears in the first issue, and this nigga is really weird, man. I won't go into the details about what's happening with the other characters inside of this issue, but I will talk about a woman known as Emma Frost. If you know who Emma Frost is, she is an Omega level mutant and she's very powerful. She is a real tenured member of the X-Men, and she is someone who you should not mess with. So now, Emma Frost, she is in San Francisco, California, and she's at a private spa. She is just trying to relax. She's trying to get a massage. She's trying to get a pedicure, the whole 9 yards. But she spots something and she doesn't like what she sees, because she spots Diddy himself, and she's getting a massage. And the person that is doing the massage, she asks her this: Miss Frost, if you could turn on your back for me, please. And Miss Frost, she's about to do that, but she hears someone outside of the room screaming, and this person is screaming, security. And Emma Frost, she now says, for what you charge, dear, I would expect these rooms to be soundproofed. But the other lady that is working on Emma Frost, she says, you are absolutely right, Miss Frost, I shall pass that on. Then the other lady who was actually asking Emma for her to turn around, she now quietly says, Abby, we don't have security, should we check? But Emma interrupts that, and she now tells them, look, tell me, what is the point of whispering when I too am a foot away? Besides, I expect that was nothing but the shout of a withered heiress who, then she now stops. She says, oh my, she telepathically knows what the hell is going on outside of this room, and she walks out. She is still kind of naked, so she now just puts on a robe, and she says, this does not come out of my 2 hours, ladies. Then she walks out. As the door opens, she's looking at a literal valley of women. These women are just looking in awe. They are just mesmerized at something or someone. And as she turns and looks at who they are actually mesmerized at, she realizes that they are mesmerized for Diddy. They want Mandrill. They are actually fawning over Mandrill. But we all know why they're fawning over Mandrill. They are being mind controlled. Their pheromones were compromised because of Mandrill's power, so he is forcing them to fall in love with them. And Mandrill says this: and the more calmly of you should be prepared to leave with your new main man, Mandrill. And as he is about to kiss or bite this woman because, you know, she's being mind controlled, she is leaning in too. Emma interrupts this and she says, pardon me, you unfortunate creature, but you made the fatal mistake of interrupting my self-indulgence. Up here, animal. And this nigga is so freaked out. He was looking at Emma Frost's tits like, bro, nigga, keep your dick in your pants, you weirdo. But Emma Frost continues and she now says, I will offer you one opportunity to leave without a physical conflict, mostly out of respect for Abby's fine manicure work. But Mandrill doesn't care. He says, in a few moments you'll beg me to get physical. And the ladies are like, wow, ooh, wow, they're just fawning over this weirdo. But come on, Mandrill, you should have known who you're up against. You're up against LeBron James, aka Emma Frost. She is the LeBron of telepathy. If Michael Jordan is Jean Grey, Emma Frost is LeBron James, because she now asks, was that your attempt to musk me with your super pheromones? And Mandrill, he's shocked. He's like, how did you? And she now continues, I read your mind, which, while helpful, was like bathing in excrement. Now, before you pour any more of your hormonal glands on these women, let me explain. In this diamond form, your powers will have no effect on me whatsoever, but I'm sure you know what it's like to be impotent against a woman. And Mandrill, he's mad. He says, kill her. He demands these women to kill Emma Frost, but Emma literally disposes of these women with ease, and she now pushes them into the pool. And this actually frees them from their mind control, because she says, there, the chlorine should wash off his pheromones, but stay back until this is over. And Mandrill, he's mad. All of his victims are out of his control, so he now says, there is more to Mandrill than my musk. Emma responds, oh dear, I just caught that. Mandrill, how desperately Freudian of you. And he now says, what? No, it's a type of primate. But Emma doesn't care. She now says, strange, I've never heard of it, but then I've never heard of you either, which is remarkable. You'd think more people would remark about a man whose face is identical to his own undercarriage. Mandrill is shocked at Emma Frost right now. He is wondering to himself, how is she not under my control? Then he now says, hey, for all you know, I'm a great guy. But Emma responds by saying, you are robbing defenseless woman. Mandrill doesn't care. He responds by saying, okay, yeah, but why do women like you always blow off guys just because they aren't handsome? Mandrill is an incel. This nigga cannot get no pussy. He can't get any woman. He can't get laid. He can't get his dick wet. So he's using his superpowers to force these women to fall in love with him. He is forcing these women to have consensual relationships with Mandrill, but in reality, these relationships are not consensual. These relationships are rape. Mandrill is using his superpowers to amplify and to basically upgrade women's pheromones so that he could sleep with them. So Emma responds by saying, oh, that is droll. You can't begin to tell me about the shallowness of the opposite sex. This entire world has poisoned the brains of little boys like you into thinking you deserve a woman like me, not a woman like me. And Emma now uses her telepathic powers to cause Mandrill to trip. Her powers is causing Mandrill to hallucinate, because Mandrill is looking at everyone around him and they all look like him. This nigga is insecure. He is a lame. He is a weirdo. He is just a true loser and a true Diddy. That is crazy and that is funny, man. And after Mandrill runs away like a little bitch because he's so scared, all of the women are now finally relieved. They tell Emma, ha, you you tell him, you know, they're basically congratulating Emma for freeing them. Mandrill is a loser. This nigga is Diddy incarnate. But there is going to be a running theme inside this video, and this running theme is mind control. Every single person that I'm going to talk about uses mind control to an extent. They may not be equally the same type of mind control, but they are very, very similar because they attack pheromones inside men and women. Now, another person that uses this type of power, and another person that was seen in hot water because he used these mind control type of powers, is Star Fox. Now, Star Fox is not like the other two people inside of this video. Star Fox at first was guilty. Everyone thought that he was guilty. Even She-Hulk at first was trying to be on his side because she was his lawyer at the time. Eventually, she thought that he was guilty of the crimes that he was accused of. Now, Star Fox is a hero. His real name is Eros, and he's the son of Mentor. He is the half-brother of Thanos, and Star Fox is a hero of the galaxy. He is a well-regarded hero. He is beloved by everybody, women, men, children alike. Everybody literally likes Star Fox, and he actually had a tenured run as an Avenger during the 80s, 70s, and like early 90s of Marvel's publication history. But in the mid 2000s, Star Fox reappeared his head. Now, the readers thought that Star Fox was just doing something mundane. Star Fox was probably, you know, going to reappear as a supporting character, but he didn't really return as a supporting character. He kind of returned as an antagonist at first, because when She-Hulk was trying to get new clients and she was really eager in wanting to defend superheroes instead of supervillains, but she actually got her wish, and her wish became her nightmare because she was tasked to defend Star Fox when Star Fox asked her to be his lawyer, because he had a sexual assault case that was literally hovering over his head, and he was being put to trial. I think it was a criminal or a civil suit, but he was being forced to stand on trial, and during this time, and he was being held inside of Rikers Island. But man, at first it looked really bad for Star Fox. I thought that Star Fox was guilty because he did not make his case any better. You know, he was wooing the people inside of the jury. He was even wooing the judge. He was wooing almost anybody that came across him during this trial, and a lot of his supporters were being seduced by Star Fox because his power can seduce you. Even if you look at him, you smell him, you know his presence, he is near you, so he can seduce you without even trying. And Star Fox did not even make his case any better by wanting to attack and defeat an already reformed awesome android, because Star Fox stupid ass really thought that he was still a true villain under the beck and call of the Mad Thinker. But Star Fox was just humiliating himself throughout this entire trial. He was saying a lot of things that were incriminating himself. So during the real meaty chunk of the half, Jennifer was trying her hardest to prove that the encounter between Star Fox and the victim was consensual. And at first, the prosecutor for this trial that was actually trying to convict Star Fox, she thought she was failing too, because every single witness that was put on the stand were literally defending Star Fox. They were saying that I could not stop putting my hands all over him. I literally could not get enough of Star Fox. If this was to happen again, I would choose to have sex with Star Fox again. So every single witness that was put on the stand were all literally backing up Star Fox. So the judge decided to do something. He realized that Star Fox's power was influencing members of this trial, so he came up with a solution. He made Star Fox stay inside of Rikers Island, and he forced Star Fox to attend the trial via like a Zoom conference. just a Zoom call, you know. So Star Fox, he realized that, damn, I ain't gonna lie, bro, I'm kind of cooked, but I don't really care. I'm playing video games in my cell, but I'll still listen to the trial. But when Jennifer called the main victim onto the stand, and she was actually asking her, hey, so what really happened with you and Star Fox? What actually took place? Was it consensual or not? The victim told Jennifer something that actually reawakened a latent memory inside of her mind, because before this she was speaking with Janet Van Dyne, and then as they were speaking, Janet told Jennifer something that actually also reawakened another latent memory inside of her mind. Janet told Jennifer that when I saw Star Fox, I was actually trying to put my hands all over Star Fox, but I just didn't do it. You know, I couldn't bring myself to do that, even though I always wanted to sleep with him. But look at you, you already slept with Star Fox. You know, you already got your hands all over him. You had sex with Star Fox, and now that you are literally his lawyer, are you guys doing it right now? Are you literally having sex right now? Do you want to have sex with him? And as Janet said this, and also as the victim told Jennifer this, inside of the same issue, Jennifer had a true reawakening, because she was starting to ponder in her mind, wait, was my encounter with Star Fox consensual? Did he use his powers on me? Did he take advantage of me by using his mind control abilities? During the Zoom trial, she whispered into the monitor and she was asking Star Fox, did you take advantage of me? Did you use your powers to sleep with me during that night all those years back? Did you do that? And Star Fox, this nigga was flustered. He was flabbergasted. He didn't want to respond. He actually shut off the call. He hung up on Jennifer during trial. This nigga was not helping his case. Star Fox was moving mad weird during this entire trial, because later it was revealed that that shit didn't even happen. So he didn't need to hang up the call. He should have not done that, because as soon as he hung up the call, Jennifer, she got irate. She got mad. She was pissed off, because she was thinking to herself, this nigga Star Fox sexually assaulted me too. He used me the same way he used the victim. But the crazy part is, the victim's case was actually real. But there is a twist, a major twist at the end of this entire story, because after Jennifer beat up Star Fox, she was literally brutalizing that nigga. She beat the shit out of Star Fox. She forced Star Fox to return back into Rikers Island, because he is a flight risk. He used his powers to escape Rikers Island prior to the beatdown. Next thing you know, before Star Fox could be put on trial again, his father teleported Star Fox. He got saved by the bell. He got saved because of nepotism. And basically the trial on Earth was, like, I think temporarily thrown away, or it was put on hold, because Star Fox, he escaped, you know. His father transported him away. But next you know, we now look at She-Hulk issue 12, and we now see the continuation of the story. We see that She-Hulk has been asked by the Living Tribunal to oversee the court case for Star Fox, and this court case is being held in space. So now she is becoming the ambassador for Earth, because Star Fox committed a lot of crimes throughout the galaxy, and that's what he's being put on trial for. But you know, there were a lot of arguments that were debating if this trial was just, because these were Earth crimes and these should not be prosecuted. But the Living Tribunal said that, look, these may be Earth crimes, but Star Fox did still commit these crimes that he's being alleged of. So we need to see if he's actually guilty or not. That's why I called Jennifer Walters, aka the She-Hulk, to oversee this entire debacle. So She-Hulk, she initially refused, but she eventually accepted. So she now became the lawyer technically for Star Fox. But as the trial was going on, Star Fox and Jennifer's mind were linked mentally and telepathically, it was revealed that Star Fox, he was actually innocent of all of the crimes that he was accused of. He didn't commit any rape, he didn't commit any type of physical rape, but he did commit something that was wrong, that is wrong. He did commit something that you could deem is still rape by proxy or rape by telepathical proxy, if that makes sense, because Star Fox did force Jennifer Walters to marry her husband at the time, and that husband's name was John Jameson, the son of J. Jonah Jameson, aka the Wolfman, because John is the Wolfman at this time, and he actually crashed this trial during this entire story. But that's the only thing Star Fox was found guilty of, because he did not commit the sexual assaults. He did not commit everything that he was accused of, because it was revealed that Thanos actually manipulated Star Fox's mind at some point in the past, and it caused Star Fox's power to overtake Star Fox himself, and this caused Star Fox to go on this sexual rampage. You know, he had sex with married women, and he used his powers to seduce these women. So basically, Thanos caused his own brother to commit a lot of rape. He caused his own brother to commit serial rape, and Thanos is a weird ass nigga for doing that. You know, he hates his brother that much, so he created a clone to actually warp and trick the jurors of this trial and Star Fox himself. So Star Fox, to an extent, is cleared for all the crimes that he was accused of, except for, you know, using his powers to force She-Hulk and John Jameson into a relationship, aka a marriage, you know, because what if they didn't want that? What if She-Hulk didn't want that? What if John didn't want that? You know, they did not consent to this marriage. So Star Fox, he's still not really off the hook, because if you actually look into that case, you could see, or you could actually conclude that it's still like slight rape by proxy or mental proxy, if that makes sense. But the last nigga I want to talk about is definitely not the least nigga. This nigga is the real Jeffrey Epstein. He is the worst Marvel villain I have seen, because not only did this nigga have multiple sex cults, but he is just a demented creep. This nigga has no bounds. He has no boundaries. He is a weird Epstein. Not even Diddy. He upgraded. This nigga is worse than Diddy. He is Jeffrey Epstein, because this man started during the 1980s, man, during the first volume for the Alpha Flight, and this was seen in issue 41. We are looking at a story, right? I'm not going to talk about the other context in this story, but in Alpha Flight issue 41, there is this girl, and she, I believe, is the daughter of the Purple Man. But the reason why I say I believe she's the daughter of the Purple Man is because this daughter was actually talking about how her mom and the Purple Man met each other, and she was so distraught by this. She was so angry by this. She was engulfed with grief, with anger and pain, because she was mentally thinking to herself, what a jerk. Even if a champion like him had the time of day for a teenager, my being purpled make him puke. Face it, Kara, you are seriously weird, and there's no way you can escape that fact by fleeing into some kind of fantasy. But her mental thoughts were interrupted because she was being interrupted by this girl, and this girl was asking her, hey, excuse me, are you going to be long in there? Kara, she was mad. She was not trying to hear this, so she said, what if I am? Then this girl asked, why? I need to go to the bathroom. Next thing you know, Kara now tells this girl, you need to go jump off a cliff. Since she has the powers of the Purple Man, she is basically telepathically controlling this girl to jump off a cliff, and that's exactly what this victim is going to do. She now states, I ... need to go jump off a cliff, and after that, Kara, she is relieved because she can finally cry to herself. She doesn't need an audience anymore. She says she's gone. Good. I don't need an audience watching me cry. And who's got a better right? After the story mom told me about about meeting my dad in a bar in Buffalo 14 years ago. And her dad is the Purple Man. The Purple Man greets these two ladies by saying, "Greetings, ladies. May I join you?" Then the other girl, she was like literally disgusted by seeing the Purple Man because of his skin. This nigga was purple. She states, "Look at his skin, Melanie. What a creep. Tell him to get lost." But Melanie was unfortunately infatuated with the Purple Man. She now tells her friend, wait. Well, we were waiting for our dates. And next thing you know, Purple Man now continues. He says, "My name is Zebediah Kilgrave, and you wish to marry me." This nigga right off the gate, he's mentally forcing this girl Melanie to drop her panties off right then and there and have sex with him. And then after that, he is forcing this girl to marry him because she doesn't know him. He doesn't know her. Why is this nigga all of a sudden forcing a random girl that he just met to marry him? And the next thing you know, an hour later, before a justice of the peace, they eventually got married. And we're looking at both of them. They are saying their wedding vows. They are both saying "I do." Even though the Purple Man means it, she doesn't mean it because she is being mentally controlled by the Purple Man. But the Purple Man actually fell in love with her. He didn't use her as a subject or as a pawn or a tool like how he would use many other women that he would come across. Purple Man actually loved this woman, so he eventually removed her from his mind control. When he did that, she instantly ran away while he was trying to say "I love you." But Melanie said, "No, you've used me. Oh my God, I hate you. You've used me." And she ran away. She now gave birth to the Purple Man's daughter, aka Kara. And when I was looking at this, I was like, wow, Purple Man, this nigga was starting this shit early as fuck. This nigga literally was doing these weird ass activities early on, but it will get worse. It got much worse during the 2000s because he eventually met a superhero known as Jessica Jones, aka canonically this probably happened during like the 1970s or 1980s of the Marvel canon history, because they met each other when Jessica Jones was like a new sprung superhero and the Avengers roster still had Scarlet Witch, Vision, Thor, Silver Surfer, and they had other allies like the Defenders, you know, that consists of the Hulk, Silver Surfer, Valkyrie, Namor, etc. But Jessica Jones met the Purple Man because she responded to a disturbance inside of the city. She saw that a diner was being overran by one villain, and this one villain was causing every single person inside that diner to slaughter each other. But the thing is, before Jessica could even do anything, before she could even say anything, before she could even, you know, actually stop the Purple Man, before she could grab him, she was already controlled. Even though she grabbed two patrons of the diner, she could not even touch the Purple Man because as soon as she got near the Purple Man, he forced her to sit down. He forced her to tell him her name. Then this nigga now said, "You're very attractive, Jessica. Take off your clothes." And Jessica, she was about to take off her clothes, but then the police came and the Purple Man temporarily stopped Jessica from undressing herself. And he now said, "Wait, no, before you do that, be a dear and fly on out and take care of the police that are arriving, will you? Go outside and fuck around with them for a second so I can finish my meal. This steak is amazing." Then Jessica, she did exactly what the Purple Man said. She was obeying his will. She was obeying his beck and call because she took care of the police. She shattered the police's cars. She was manhandling them, and you know, she turned into a supervillain. But the thing is, she did not have a say in all of this, and she would later tell Luke Cage that she was forced to do these type of antics for 8 months, but she would reveal that the Purple Man never physically raped her, but the Purple Man was forcing her to watch him engage in a lot of sexual orgies. And come to find out, these sexual orgies were being participated by unwilling participants. This nigga was using his power to force these college students to have sex with him and to have sex with each other. This nigga is committing a lot of serial rape. The Purple Man is one of the most disgusting villains I have ever seen in Marvel's history, and he would always torment Jessica throughout their tenure with each other. He would always call her a whore. He would call her a slut. He would force her to wear the weirdest outfits imaginable. He will force her to watch him as he is having sex with other women, and he would also force her to beg him to sleep with him. Every single time that they would sleep with each other, he would use his powers to force Jessica to sleep with him. He will always tell Jessica, beg to sleep with me. You want to sleep with me. You need to beg to sleep with me. You will do all of this until you cry. You are a stupid little bitch. You are a whore. He would berate her. He would destroy her life physically, mentally, and verbally. The Purple Man is worse than Doctor Doom. He is worse than Thanos. He is worse than any genocidal maniac you could think of, because obviously they probably still partake in some type of weird crimes like the Purple Man partakes in, but man, the Purple Man, he indulges himself with some of the most disgusting acts you could think of. This nigga is a serial rapist. You know, none of these women are consenting. He is literally mind controlling them. He is a walking date rape drug. And funnily enough, this type of description was also used for Star Fox. So you're seeing a pattern that I am actually trying to highlight in this video, that mind control is probably one of the scariest superpower anyone could ever use or wield. Whether you are a hero or a supervillain, if you actually possess the power known as mind control, I am never ever stepping near you, because who's to say you're not going to mind control me? Who's to say you're not going to mind control my mom or my aunt or any other woman in my life? You are a very dangerous person, and this nigga actually forced Jessica Jones to fly to wherever the Avengers were located at during this time. They just returned back to Earth from an adventure, but Jessica blindsided the Scarlet Witch. She knocked her out cold, and this was a very shocking thing to see, because if the Scarlet Witch was actually attentive during this skirmish, she probably would have wiped the floor with Jessica Jones, but that did not happen. The next you know, Jessica, even though she was mind controlled, she realized she was fucked, because if you are standing in front of this lineup, these niggas are literally the prime Lakers. These niggas are literally prime Real Madrid. They are prime Barcelona. They are prime Man City. You're literally looking at Captain America, Vision, Thor, Miss Marvel, Iron Man. Then you now turn around and you look at the Defenders. You look at the allies of the Avengers, and they consist of Namor, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Valkyrie, and they're all trying to knock you out. They're all trying to beat your ass because you just tried to jump them. Then Jessica did the only sane response anyone with a right mind could do, and she ran away. That's the only thing she could have actually realistically done during this time, because even though she was mind controlled, she realized that she was screwed. And as she flew away, she thought that she was in the clear, but the next you know, Thor now appeared in front of her, and she was lucky to dodge Mjolnir. She was lucky that Thor did not connect with that hit, but she turned around and she got hit. She got smoked. She got slapped. She got mollywopped by members of the Avengers and the Defenders. Iron Man got some licks, but the main person that literally ruined her life during this day was Vision. Vision punched her, he knocked her out, he broke her jaw, he kind of snapped her neck, he caused her to miss some teeth, her face was rearranged, and her only true friend at the time was Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel saved Jessica during this encounter, but of course the Avengers were in the wrong because they did not know that she was mind controlled. They did not know that she wasn't in the right mind at the time. They lashed out because they saw another of their members being attacked, but they didn't know the true context of this attack. So after Jessica was recuperated and after she met with Jean Grey, and Jean actually used her telepathic powers to help Jessica to an extent, she later met with the Avengers. They all apologized to her. They profusely apologized. Vision did not though. Vision was just scowling and looking at Jessica like, bro, yo, chill my nigga. Yo, she was under the control of the Purple Man. She did not mean that. But this meeting actually turned sour because Nick Fury used this meeting as an opportunity to get Jessica to enlist in S.H.I.E.L.D. and she instantly turned down that offer. She went away, but she later met with the Purple Man in prison because she wanted the Purple Man to admit to a lot of other crimes that this nigga committed. The Purple Man was a serial murderer at the same time as he was a serial rapist. So the Purple Man literally is a depraved individual, but the Purple Man was going on a weird tangent about comic books. He was telling Jessica that, oh, I'm the villain and you are the hero. You think you're so smart, but you don't know anything. And he was just like berating her. He was mocking her. He was using this moment as like a weird mock imaginary like interview where he was telling her interior shots, jail, day, Jessica Jones, the ex-costumed superhero, now Private Eye, comes face to face with her greatest foe, her worst nightmare, the enigmatic Kilgrave, the Purple Man. Tight shot on Jessica. She stares ahead blankly, trying not to give Kilgrave the satisfaction of how much this confrontation is getting to her, but her eyes are glassy with held back tears. Her quivering lip betrays her, and he was just going on these weird ass tangents like, nigga, you're not cool, bro. You're a serial rapist, nigga. You deserve to be in hell, not even in jail. The Purple Man, Mandrill, they both deserve to be in hell. Star Fox, man, he's not really off the loose just yet because he literally used his powers to force Jennifer into a marriage. But Star Fox, you're not off the hook just yet. But this nigga, the Purple Man, is definitely not off the hook, man, because after Jessica meets with the Purple Man, she is literally shocked to hear that there has been a prison break at the same prison that the Purple Man was being held in. This is crazy. She just met with this nigga. Now all of a sudden there's a prison break. She was hyperventilating. She was calling everyone she knew and she was discussing with everyone she knew about what happened, and she needed to go somewhere to hide. The only place she thought at the time that was good for the situation was Scott Lang's apartment, because Jessica was seeing Scott, Luke, and another person at the same time during this entire story, but she thought that Scott's apartment was the best place to stay at, and at first it was. She went into his apartment, she slept, she had a good rest, she woke up, she thought Scott was still in the bed, but she saw Scott's corpse and Scott looked like he died, and she woke up, but then she now heard another voice inside of the room, and that other voice was the Purple Man. The Purple Man was tricking Jessica into witnessing Scott Lang's apparent death, but that was not the case. That was an illusion from the Purple Man, and the Purple Man was just trying to mentally torment Jessica. He was forcing her to take a stroll into the New York City, and as they were walking on the stroll, the Purple Man, he needed some excitement, so he forced the residents of this city and of this block to go into an all-out war, into an all-out brawl, and he forced everyone to kill the person to the left of them and to brutally beat them up, and that's exactly what happened. And as this was going on, the Avengers, they came, but simultaneously Jean Grey also also came as well, but she came as an astral projection because she was busy doing something at a different location. So this is the only way that she could help during this time. And she told Jessica, look, he is a sick individual. He is controlling you right now. You need to wake up. You need to beat his ass. You need to end this. And Jessica even asked, wait, I can end this? And she now said, please do. Next thing you know, she looks up, she sees the Avengers. They're hovering down towards the Purple Man, and the Purple Man now says, okay, I'm seeing that the Avengers are here. Jessica, go beat them up for me. Go kill the Avengers for me. At least kill one of the Avengers. Kill one of them, you stupid whore. You stupid slut. Do it now, whore. And Jessica, she was like, hell no, boy. She punched the Purple Man so hard. Blood started to erupt from this nigga's mouth. And the Purple Man now landed headfirst onto an oncoming car. Captain America was a G. This nigga was shocked. He said, wow. He was like, yep, wow, like finally, you know what I mean? Like everyone was so happy seeing the Purple Man finally getting his shit rocked. And Jessica grabbed him. She now said fucking mother, and before she could continue her own sentence, she now hit the Purple Man 2 more times. This nigga was unconscious. He fell down, and Carol Danvers, aka Miss Marvel, was so happy. She ran towards Jessica. She hugged Jessica, and she now said, oh my god, oh my Jessica, you did it, you did it, look at you. And Jessica was crying because she finally put hands on her abuser. She finally beat this weird nigga's ass, this Jeffrey Epstein look-alike nigga, bro. And you know, this book was a very good read, man, I can't lie to you. But you know, Jessica's story ends by her telling Luke that he's actually the father instead of Scott. And you know, this actually destroyed Scott's relationship with Jessica, but this started the famous relationship known as Luke x Jessica. But I had to talk about all of this because I was just reading an issue of Alias issue 24, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck is happening, bro? I was like, nah, this shit is hidden. It's hidden deep. Like, I read Jessica Jones' story before, but I wanted to read it again to refresh my mind. Then I actually remembered all of the heinous shit that the Purple Man did, bro. I was like, what? And the Purple Man didn't even stop there. That's a crazy part. The Purple Man was actually continuing, and he was creating the Purple Children. And these children were gathered from a lot of women who were under his influence and spell over the years. So basically, he is manipulating the children of his victims. This nigga, the Purple Man, is a weirdo. He is Jeffrey Epstein. Diddy is Mandrill. And Star Fox, man, I just gotta shake my head at you, bro. I just gotta shake my head in disapproval because, man, you did not need to do that to She-Hulk, bro. But that's the end of the video. Marvel got a lot of weird niggas. If this video is good, I might do a DC version of this video because we got a lot to talk about in the DC version. Dr. Light, I'm looking at you, nigga. But that's the end of the video, man. This video is long as shit, 43 minutes, bro. That's crazy. I didn't think I'd be talking this long, man. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm out. Peace.